Coming up on Network Africa, Liberians choose a new president in runoff vote between Vice President Joseph Boakai and former international footballer George Weah. Egypt executes 15 militants convicted of carrying out attacks on security forces in 2013. And Italy rescues more than 250 migrants off the coast of the Mediterranean at the port of Malaga, Spain. Welcome to the program. I'm Boakai Rogers. Polls opened today in Liberia as the people decide on a new president in a runoff vote between Vice President Joseph Boakai and former international footballer George Weah. Mr. Weah won the first round but did not secure the required 50% of the vote for an outright victory. Legal challenges had delayed the vote to replace Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, Africa's first elected female president.
Polls opened this morning in the presidential election runoff with fewer voters waiting in line than in the first round. Hundreds of people queued up hours before the opening of the poll stations in the capital on October 10th in the first round. But the case is different today as fewer voters take turns to cast their votes.
The process is going on smooth this morning, and I hope that everything will go well this morning.
The voters will choose between Joseph Boakai, the vice president who has been in government for 12 years, and former soccer star George Weah, who comfortably beats President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf's son, Robert, in the senatorial election in 2014.
It's a great day because it's a test of democracy. We went in one time, there were 20 of us, now we reduced to 2. We have delayed, we've gone through the good process. This is what the process has produced. We're willing to live with it.
I'm not associated with losing. So this victory is certain, and I'm going to win. Or Boakai cannot win, or George Weah. Ellen Johnson won because she's an exceptional case. And what happened cannot happen again.
The Electoral Commission says it will leave no stone unturned to ensure a credible runoff.
Absolutely, we have no choice. Our job is just that, to ensure that we organize and execute elections that will be free, fair, and transparent. And not only that, and that will be acceptable to the people of Liberia.
With just 2 candidates on the ballot, officials are expecting a quick result by the weekend if all goes well. Liberians are hoping the losing member will accept the result. The winner would replace Ellen Johnson Sirleaf as president in what will be Liberia's first peaceful handover of power in 70 years.
Let's get more on this. Liberian election observer Dr. Gani Lawal joins us on the program. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, the polls are underway. As one of the observers, what's the turnout like?
This is a rerun of the last one that was held in October, where there was not a conclusive winner, and there's been a Supreme Court judgment that they should go and do a rerun, try to sanitize the voters' list, and we were shown the voters' list yesterday. Everything seems to be perfect by the ECOWAS Technical Election Committee. They did a good job, of sanitizing the voters' list. And at the same time, the NEC here are also doing a good job of sensitizing the public to go and check the voters' list to be sure that their names are at the center where they will vote. Today, we've gone around about 8 voting centers, and the election went on smoothly, even though we can say that the turnout is not very, very high. This is for reasons of winning enthusiasm and apathy, which is a human problem. The enthusiasm was not as high as it was in October. But so far, so good. The turnout has been in trickles, and people have been voting. The voting centers are very peaceful. We have witnessed the vice president who is contesting against Weah. He has voted, and everything seems peaceful. So we are waiting now for the conclusion of the voting exercise, which is be by 6 o'clock today, which will be 7 o'clock Nigerian time. And then we will be going to the collation center to see the result. The election is being monitored by a number of institutions. The Center for the Democratic Center Institute from the United States, the Qatar Center, the former presidents of Nigeria, Ghana, Kosovo, and Senegal, and a host of other observers from the European Union. We've been going around the country, and there has never been any report of any incident to suggest that the election is not peaceful. Right. So far, the election has been very peaceful.
Right, thank you. Dr. Lawal, today's polls actually follow a month of political tension fueled by claims that the first round was rigged, in Weah's favor, that is. Do you think previous fraud allegations actually delayed the start of today's runoff?
Well, in an election like this, you will have allegations and counter-allegations. But so far, from what we see from the technical the technical team of the ECOWAS election monitoring group, everything seems to be perfect. There has not been any complaint. Although there was an issue whereby when the party of the vice president, which is the Unity Party, once they come into they come to the technical committee and they were showing what has been done, they will agree. We heard that after they leave here, they go out again to go and complain. Then we followed to go and find out what are the complaints. But actually, we are not able to find any complaint. And the flag bearer of the Unity Party, which is the vice president, he has voted. So, as far as I'm concerned, if there's any complaint, that could be a political gimmick, by political parties, which is normal in an election like this.
From what you've seen so far, do you think the National Elections Commission is doing a good job?
Actually, I have a very strong confidence in the National Electoral Commission. They have complied with all the Supreme Court directives, and so far so good. They are doing a good job. We've seen their vehicles, in almost all the polling booths, monitoring and ensuring that things are going well. I've witnessed how people have voted. People are giving ballots. They vote. They cast their vote. Then they put the black ink on their hand to ensure that they don't come back for multiple voting. So, as far as I'm concerned, the NEC, has been doing a good job.
Weah's arrival at the polling station, that's the former footballer in Painesville, was met with cheers by a crowd of people supporting him. But critics have said most times before that, they're wary of his lack of political experience and education. He doesn't know the workings of the government, many say. Do you see this playing against him?
You're talking of
George Weah.
George Weah?
Yes, they say. Do you think his lack of knowing the workings of government, his inexperience in that area, do you see it working against him?
No. That one would be in the realm of personal opinion.
Okay.
Our own job there is to strengthen the credibility and the integrity of the election. So regarding experience and things like that, that will be the decision for the Liberian people to decide, not us. We are here to observe and then to monitor to ensure that the election is credible and the integrity is upheld. That's why we are here. We are not here to talk about what is going to happen to whoever is elected. We are just an impartial monitor.
Right, thank you so much for your time on the program, Dr. Gani Lawal, speaking to us there from Liberia. Let's move on now. Egypt has charged 15 militants who were convicted of carrying out attacks on security forces in the Sinai Peninsula in 2013. According to the authorities, the executions were carried out early today at 2 prisons in the north of the country where the men were held. They were convicted of killing soldiers, carrying out assassinations and destroying military vehicles. It's the first mass execution in the country since 6 jihadists were hanged in 2015. Sinai has in recent times been beset by insurgency, with jihadist groups including so-called Islamic State attacking targets including army, police and judges. Last week, IS blew up a grounded helicopter with an anti-tank missile at North Sinai Airport, killing an army officer and wounding 2 others. And in November, suspected IS militants also carried out a devastating bomb and gun attack on a mosque in North Sinai that killed more than 250 people. The Democratic Republic of Congo's President Joseph Kabila's home in Goma has been gutted by fire and a policeman killed in the incident. Reports say Kabila was not at home during the attack. It was not immediately known who was responsible for the raid, but fingers are pointed to his political detractors. Allegedly, that is. Congo is embroiled in a political crisis linked to Kabila's refusal to step down as president when his mandate expired a year ago, while militia violence and political unrest are increasing. Lawmakers in the country have firmly condemned the barbarous act while calling on the people to dissociate from any actions likely to compromise the peace and development in this part of the country. More than a decade after the end of a 1998 to 2003 war in which millions of people died, mostly from hunger and disease, rebel fighters and local militias stalk Congo's mineral-rich eastern borderlands. Now to Congo. The United Nations Under-Secretary General for Peacekeeping Operations, Jean-Pierre Lacroix, has visited the Democratic Republic of Congo, where he reiterated the organization's commitment to its peacekeeping mission. The visit comes after the death of 14 Tanzanian peacekeepers killed in a raid on their base earlier this month.
The United Nations Under-Secretary General for Peacekeeping Operations, Jean-Pierre Lacroix, said the international organization remained committed to its peacekeeping mission in the Democratic Republic of Congo. He was speaking during a visit to the eastern region of the country that came up after an attack on UN peacekeepers in North Kivu earlier this month. UN officials say the suspected militants from the Allied Democratic Forces staged the attack on the base in the town of Shekumuli in North Kivu's Benin territory. UN officials suspect militants from the Allied Democratic Forces staged the attack on the base in the town of Semuliki. Eastern DR Congo has suffered years of instability with rival groups fighting for control of the territory.
Pensons encore plus fort à tous les braves soldats qui ont été tués ou blessés à cet endroit, évidemment, venir ici.
Our thoughts are with the brave soldiers who were killed or wounded in this place. Obviously, coming here raises very strong emotions, but there is also the satisfaction of seeing that this base, which had to be abandoned, very quickly recaptured by MONUSCO, and that the work of reconstruction, of fortification, is taking place, and that's very important. It shows that we are determined to continue our mission, to lead it with more determination and resolution.
Established in 2010, MONUSCO is the United Nations' largest peacekeeping mission and has since recorded 93 casualties from the military, police and civilian personnel.
Coming up on Network Africa. The World Bank projects into 2018 expects economic growth of about 3.2% in sub-Saharan Africa.